Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Goober Brothers Entertainment. My name is Cody, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Harry Potter, a subject I don't really cover that much here. And I'd love to cover it more, but to be quite frank, a lot of people don't really, they don't really follow Harry Potter that much in this group. I love the movies. I love the lore, and I love everything about Harry Potter. The story is amazing, and it's a very you know it's very popular with a certain demographic, but overall, man, it's a great franchise, and I don't really see it going down any drains like Star Wars or you know Marvel or DC or any of that shit. So basically, today we got some news, and this is from a little while ago. I know I'm a little bit late. I have been following it, but I felt like it's a good morning to cover the subject, especially off of a good episode of The Boardroom from last night. So if you guys could please go back to Itepukuni the Place to Be Reviews channel. You can watch The Boardroom on there. And from there on, you can listen to the podcast or watch us. You can also subscribe to Itepukuni's The Place to Be Reviews. You can subscribe to Raiders of the Lost Flicks. And you could also subscribe to 2 Cent Toys. Oh, and also subscribe to Goober Brothers Entertainment. So we can gain subscribers, we can gain followers, and also we can have a good time. So today we're going to talk about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And this article comes from the Wizarding World. So, news. The third Fantastic Beasts film confirms new details, including cast members and location. So, pretty big deal here. Now, I remember back in May, I was I went to MegaCon in Orlando. Really big convention, really big actors that are there. And I don't really know which one you would compare it to, but overall, guy, it's a big convention and really cool actors that are there. And one in particular that I met this year was Dan Fogler, who plays Kowalski. Fogler. Yeah, I said it right. Okay. So he's a really nice guy. I was really happy to meet him. He's a big role in this movie, and he's also in my favorite movie ever is Fanboys. So if you guys haven't seen Fanboys, please go see it. I plan on doing a fanboy watch party sometime soon. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But anyways, let's talk about this article posted by the Wizarding World. So pretty good source from the legitimate website of Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. So it says the third installment of the Fantastic Beasts series has been greenlit with production confirmed to start in spring 2020. Here is everything you need to know so far. Before I get going, I wanted to just I forgot to mention that when I met Dan Fogler, I asked him about the whole Fantastic Beasts thing, what was happening. And he told me that they're going to start production in January of 2020. So it says spring, but, close enough. And this was back in May of last year, and they haven't even, at the time, they didn't really resolve the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard issue. So that whole issue was going on, and it was just a really big deal with both actors have projects that are going on. I'm sure Amber Heard has more than just Aquaman, but Johnny Depp, man, he's big baller in Hollywood, and no one really knew what the issue was, whether he was going to be put in jail, or if Amber Heard was going to go to jail, or if this was even going to get solved through mediation, or honestly, there's no really idea what was going to happen, because Johnny Depp was saying that she was abusing him, and then vice versa, that he was abusing her. So it's a shit show. But hopefully that stuff is all behind us. They've settled it, and they can get going with these movies. And I love Johnny Depp's portrayal of Grindelwald. He does a fantastic job, and he's so convincing as a dark wizard. And he is one of those shoot first, ask questions later type of people. very persuasive, very, very, very cunning of a villain. And it's something that we need because there's a lot of villains out there in movies like Justice League and a lot of Marvel movies that don't really stick to you. Thanos being one of the ones that are, that's going to stick with everybody's imagination and everybody's memories for a long time because of how great he was. Villains like Dark Elves or, like the little mob guys from Ant-Man 2, not that impactful. I can't talk. I need some coffee. But it this cast and this actor that portrays Grindelwald, Johnny Depp, is fantastic. And he's not as good as Voldemort by any means, but I mean, how are you going to compare the two? I mean, it's Voldemort. So, one of the most iconic movie villains of all time, but I think Johnny Depp is stepping it up. And to be quite frank, man, these movies are way, way better than most of the stuff that we get in Hollywood these days. So, but let's continue on with the article. Fancy another Fantastic Beasts film? Well, it's our pleasure to announce that pre-production on the third chapter is officially underway. Here are some new details, including the cast, the production team, and a rather special new location. Many of the characters you know and love from the first Fantastic Beasts films will be back for the next adventure. In a cast led by Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, Jude Law as Albus Dumbledore, and Johnny Depp as Gellert Grindelwald, along with Ezra Miller plays Credence / Aurelius Dumbledore, Alison Sudol, which plays Queenie Goldstein, Dan Fogler, who plays Jacob Kowalski, and Catherine Watterson, who plays Tina Goldstein. Great cast. Great cast. And I want to make a note here that I think personally the best way to form a cast for a movie, more or less of a epic franchise, is that you can get some actors that are big names, and that's great, but they need to transform into that character, just like Jude Law does for Dumbledore. And Jude Law plays a great young Dumbledore, or Youngledore, as you want to call him. And Johnny Depp is just insanely, talented, and is able to dive into, being the character instead of just being a guy that plays the character. Ezra Miller, bigger name in Hollywood now that he's had certain roles, but I mean, if you're just looking through actors and everything, and you see Ezra Miller, you're not really going to think much of it, and then you realize who he plays, and you're like, oh, okay, so he makes that character, really, pop off the screen. Alison Sudol plays Queenie Goldstein. Amazing job as Queenie. Really does play a ditzy wizard, but very smart character. But I mean, if you've seen the last movie, spoiler, you know that she has, she basically gets persuaded, and I don't know if it's a mind control thing, since she is, she can read minds. I don't know, and Dan Fogler, man, he kills it as Kowalski. And Tina Goldstein, I don't really know who Catherine Watterson was outside of this movie. Didn't know who she was, but she played this role insanely well. So great cast. Can't say anything, bad about him. But let's keep going. So comedian and actor Jessica Williams, who was featured briefly in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, will have a bigger role in this film. Stay tuned to learn more about her character, Professor Eulalie Lolly Hicks, a teacher at Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, the American equivalent of Hogwarts. The film will once again be directed by David Yates and will reunite producers David Heyman, J.K. Rowling, Steve Kloves, Lionel Wigram, and Tim Lewis, along with executive producers Neil Blair, Danny Cohen, Josh Berger, and Courtney Valenti. The screenplay will be written by J.K. Rowling and Steve Kloves. So, same crew, same people making the movie. David Yates, man, he, from The Prisoner of Azkaban on, I mean, he killed, those movies, man. He made them awesome, and the first two were great, and I love them just as much as most of them. But man, David Yates just, you know, he was on fire when he was making those Harry Potter movies. Tell you what. Um, so, as with the first two films, the third will take us to new continents, exploring wizarding cultures across the globe. The first Fantastic Beasts film introduced us to American wizarding life in 1927 New York. The second took us to Paris, and we can now reveal that the third film will officially be visiting Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This relocation reveal follows on the J.K. Rowling's mysterious Twitter header last year and confirms that she was indeed referring to Brazil as one of the main destinations in the third Fantastic Beasts. So, the as yet unnamed third installment of Fantastic Beasts will start production in spring 2020. The film will release on November 12th, 2021. That kind of sucks. We got a long ways to wait, but whatever. As always, keep visiting wizardingworld.com for more updates as we get them. So, solid article, solid info, and I tell you what, it makes me so excited to see another one of these movies. And you know, I haven't really seen anyone complain about these movies. I haven't really heard too much complaining about really anything involving these movies. And I mean, I'm really, really surprised because most people, they're very critical of, including me, including of older franchises that get remakes or get sequels or prequels or whatever. And a lot of the time they cannot go through with it and make it a good movie. But in this case, and this is the thing, J.K. Rowling's in charge of this still. She didn't sell it to Disney. She didn't sell it to anybody. She's still in charge. She creates the story. She creates the characters and everything, and she makes it coherently. You know, um, she makes it go along with the rest of the wizarding world. It's not like she's pulling a Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams and just making it feel like a completely different wizarding world, because they fucking demolished Star Wars. It doesn't even feel like Star Wars anymore. It just feels like a cheap knockoff, Disney-fied-ish version of Star Wars. And now we get these Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter type movies. It's not involving Harry Potter, but it feels really, like it could, the next scene could take place in London with Harry Potter. But that's the feeling that you get though, and that's a good thing. I want the new Star Wars movies to feel like, you could just get in a starship and light speed ahead to a different planet, and makes it feel like you're in the prequels. The prequels or in the OT. But you don't get that feeling, and it's very disappointing. But luckily here, this franchise is still going pretty strong, and I'm very excited. And this movie is very highly anticipated. But except for this person who we're going to talk about right here on the Mary Sue. So this clown of a journalist, Princess Weeks. Third Fantastic Beasts movie coming in 2021, no matter how much we don't want it. Well, Princess Weeks, a lot of people want this movie. And this is a franchise that has not been tampered with. And if there's any character changes, it's because J.K. Rowling will and can do so. She created them. And she doesn't go too far out of the ordinary with character changes. I know there was backlash about her saying that Dumbledore was gay. Who gives a shit if he was gay? Who gives a shit if you change one character a little bit? And it's not even changing the character. I take that back. It's not even changing the character. It's just adding depth to him. I mean, you don't change Luke Skywalker from being a hero to being a little pussy that went on an island to just go die alone. No, it's completely different. She just said, "Hey, Dumbledore just likes dudes." Oh well, who gives a shit? She didn't go and do a backstory for Snape, saying that he was a cold blooded fucking murderer, that he actually did kill Harry's father and mother, and he also I don't know, did other bad stuff. I don't know. It's not like she changed Snape's character at all. It's not like she changed Harry Potter's character at all. She's not pulling a Kathleen Kennedy. She's not pulling a J.J. Abrams or a Ryan Johnson or anything. And I think she's doing a very good job. So, J.K. Rowling, if you ever miraculously hear this live show, props to you. You're doing an awesome job. Let's go down the Princess Weeks. Let's see what this clown looks like. So, Princess Weeks, assistant editor, Princess, or she, her, bisexual, which is very important, guys. If you need to know, it's very important that you know the sexuality of these writers, because it's just important for whatever reason. Is a Brooklyn-born Megan Fox truther who loves Sailor Moon mythology and diversity within sci-fi fantasy. Still lives in Brooklyn with her over 500 Pokemon that she has EV trained into a mighty army. Team Zatura forever, whatever that means. So, Princess, let's see what you wrote here. So, the Harry Potter money train just can't stop, won't stop, even if we beg it to really, really hard. Literally no one is fucking begging for these movies to die. No one. I think you might be the only one, lady. Like, no, I don't see anyone wanting to get rid of these movies or want these movies to stop. Not one person. No one's upset about these movies. And if you talk to a lot of people, most people probably will. I mean, most normies will be like, I don't really know what that's about. Is it with Harry Potter? They don't know. But if most people that I've talked to that have seen these movies, they like them. And I think the only person that I might have talked to that doesn't really, really, really enjoy it like I do, they think it's all right. It's not like, you know, it's not like they're wanting them to just die down. I think, lady, you might be the only one. According to Deadline, Warner Brothers has greenlight the third Fantastic Beasts movie in the spin-off series. The film begins production in spring 2020 with an eye on a November 2021 release. We already just read that. In this upcoming film, apparently, Jessica Williams, who was featured briefly in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, will have a bigger role this time, considering that her character existed for literally 2 seconds. Listen, it wasn't fucking about that damn teacher. It wasn't. And if they put her in the movie for a bigger role, great. Awesome. I want to see some different professors in different schools. That'd be cool. That would be really neat to see. I think just having one scene would be a bigger role. Williams in this film plays Professor Eulalie Lolly Hicks, a teacher at Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, the American equivalent of Hogwarts. The entire cast will be returning. I just read that. Okay, so she says, I wish I could care about the Fantastic Beasts franchise, but I think it proved with its second installment that J.K. Rowling, while talented, is limited with her world building. What the fuck did you just say? Hey, princess, do you want to create a Harry Potter world? Do you want to do something? Then fucking create it. You know why? Because you're a fucking jackass. But I think it proved with its second installment that J.K. Rowling, while talented, is limited in her world building. Yeah, okay. Okay, sure. So she created Hogwarts, so arguably one of the best franchises created. Harry Potter has dominated, the world with fandom. I mean, there's Harry Potter fans all over the place. And she's also created, let's see, she created the Ilvermorny School. She created the South American School. She created a bunch of other schools. I don't know the names. I can't remember. I remember she came out a couple years ago when she talked about the other schools that are out there across the globe. So, dude, the amount of stuff that she's been able to create, that's impressive as hell. She's not limited, you dick face. So, am I ranting? Yes. But writers like this, dude, how you're not credible at all. She goes on to say she doesn't really understand American politics or history enough to touch on things that would be relevant in this time period in America. And despite her attempting to create more diversity, she has inadvertently created some of the most accidentally racist characters I've seen in quite some time now. Who the fuck is what? No. Who's racist? Tell me tell me who's racist in these movies. She's creating characters. It's a fucking make-believe world. She doesn't understand American politics or history enough in this time period. You know what? Do you? Do you know American politics and history back in the 1920s and 30s? Didn't think so. I highly doubt you do. And you know what? It doesn't take much but to read up on history, talk to historians. You're making a movie. You need it to be accurate. And to be quite frank, uh, if you didn't already know, it's a make believe fucking world. You dumbass. It's a make believe world. So if is she going to get every little American historical fact correct? Who gives a shit? It's oh my god. Just and you're the people. You're the type of people that's probably saying that Scarlett Johansson can't play a trans because she's not really a transsexual. Who gives a shit? She's pretending. She's pretending to be somebody. It oh my god. Just these people give me a freaking headache, man. Not to mention her own mistakes when it comes to the timeline of her own world. She's building her timeline. She's not ruining the timeline. She's not. She really isn't. And honestly, she's creating her stuff. It's her fucking world. It all seems all right to me. Like I don't see an issue with really any of it. So either you're a fan of this stuff or you're not, because I mean, it's like I said, it's different with Star Wars, it's different with Marvel. The people that created all this stuff aren't around anymore. So instead, people that are just bastardizing the franchise are making a bunch of bullshit just to make money. J.K. Rowling, not really doing that. And if you've ever been to Universal Studios or anything, you know that this Harry Potter parks or the sections in the parks, they make the most money. So there's a lot of Harry Potter fans out there that like these movies. You can't say the same thing about Galaxy's Edge because a lot of Star Wars fans aren't going to that fucking theme park. No one's paying a fucking 25 grand or whatever to buy it to build a droid. No one's going there to pay $50 for a little drink. And these people that write articles like this and who bitch and moan on Twitter about characters being racist. This is the most racist character I've seen in quite some time. They're characters. The actors aren't really racist. I mean, I hope they're not. But they're characters in a movie that build that she makes, the characters, they build depth into the world. My God, it's just wow. And all I wanted from Rowling post Harry Potter was an encyclopedia of magic, and even that, in the form of Pottermore, has delivered mixed results. Part of why I'm nervous about Fantastic Beasts 3 going to Brazil is because of Castelo Bruxo, which is the castle in Brazil. Um, listen, just fucking go home, go go take a nap because you're a fucking idiot. Okay. Um, Back in 2016, Rowling wrote about the South American magical school Castelbruxo, uh, Castelbruxo, Castellabruxo. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but whatever. That takes in all magical students in South America, even though it's in Brazil. The depiction of it just came off as really exotic, with no real understanding of the complexities of South American culture, but more wanting the aesthetic of a magical school in the rainforest. Dude, do you know South American culture? Because fucking enlighten us, will you? Please. Enlighten us on South American culture. Who's to say she's not researching this shit? Who's to say she doesn't have friends in South America? She's not friends with South Americans or Brazilians. Dude, when you go and shoot at these locations, you're going to get shit down. Also, I want to also add, and I mentioned this earlier because this dumbass doesn't seem to get it right. It's a make believe world. It's a make believe world. So unless you see them going through downtown in the Muggle section, or places where Muggles are, different market sections or something, the Wizarding Castle and community can be whatever the fuck she wants it to be, because it's the goddamn make believe world, and you don't get that. Jeez. I hope that in this third movie, Rowling works with someone who knows screenwriting, because take all of the problematic elements. There we go. There's that word. There's that word. Problematic. Problematic is the word of the, what would you say, the past 2-3 years? I think so. That's probably the word of the past couple years by SJWs. Sip of coffee. Problematic elements. Dude. She says there was so much exposition and plot coincidences that it just made an already meh movie seem incompetent on top of everything else. Did you watch the movie? Did you not pay attention to the movie? Did you think about the movie? I doubt you did. I highly doubt you did. And listen, I see these movies in theaters. I buy them on DVD. I watch them over and over. They're great fucking movies. People can disagree with me, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But when you're the writer of this dumbass fucking website, and you're trying to get people to read your article, and you're just fucking stupid and just saying a bunch of random dumbass shit, that you shouldn't be doing that. You clearly didn't watch the movie enough, and you don't know what you're talking about, princess. Well, 3 down, 2 more to go. I hope we stop Grindelwald in a way that's interesting, even though we already know that he doesn't die, because it is in the original series, and there really aren't any stakes to these films because they aren't telling us anything we don't already know. She is building the world of Harry Potter. These are bonus movies. They're bonus movies. Would you prefer they do something like Lucasfilm and just create a whole ton of novels and comic books that require you to read them just so you can get context of something in the movies? No, they're bonus movies. It's a how it came to be type of movie. Something leading up to Harry Potter, talking more about the backstory of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and introducing Newt Scamander and all the magical creatures and everything regarding the wizarding world of Harry Potter. It's world building, and I don't think you know what world building means. I really don't, because you don't understand what these films are made for. They're made for Harry Potter fans, and they're made to expand the world, the universe of Harry Potter. telling us they're not telling you anything you don't already know. So you know all the spells and everything that it comes with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. You really do. You do. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure J.K. Rowling fucking makes it up. You don't know everything. Like, God, good God. Just this freaking website sucks, man. And I know people could ask, why are you on it? Well, I want to just point out and call out dumb shit like this. It's oh my God. And no, I don't want more. I don't want more stories like this, and I don't want to, support the website. So you, lady, are just stupid. So you know, it just I don't get it. So let's look at the chat. So the Appalachian American, what's up, man? He also says, I've seen the first 4 or 5 Harry Potters, like them, but need to finish. Never got into the Fantastic Beasts movies. And then he says, my pronoun is combat tank. So yeah, so Appalachian American, I recommend you watching them. Then they're finish the series, and then if you want, watch the Fantastic Beasts movies, or you don't have to. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. But um, I personally love all of them, and it really does build a great big world that's magical, and that there's just so much cool stuff within Harry Potter. I've watched. I mean, I've followed Harry Potter from when I was a kid, and first grade, I think, when I first got into it. Yeah, because my dad got me into it. You know, my dad was the guy to be at the bookstore right when they opened and released the first copies of the books. So he's that kind of Harry Potter fan. So I got into it too, and it's awesome, man. It's really really cool, and I really wish people could see things like that the way we see them, because it makes more sense the way we see them. Um, and that lady is complaining about, you know, J.K. Rowling's telling us stuff we already know, and we don't find out anything else. Dude, she's making more stuff. It's like that's like saying you're going through the 5th grade and you're like, I already know all I need to know. No, you don't. Like, you're in the 5th grade. You don't know everything you need to know. Nope. Well, I know it all. Okay. It's a very teenage, angsty type of thing to say. So, it's just the world of entertainment, and man, it's crazy. It's crazy the type of people that are out there that have influence on pop culture and all of this stuff. So it just, I don't know, man. It really bothers me because a lot of these people, um, we all have a voice in the community, and we all have voices online and on social media. And our job is to use them properly, not to bitch and moan constantly. And do I bitch and moan a lot? Oh yeah. But I'm not online arguing for just ridiculous nonsense. Oh, we need this. We need more of this person because they need to represent me. It's like, no, because you can find common ground in any character. Any character. You can find common ground in any character you want. It doesn't matter. You don't need representation for the sake of representation. A character being built should be natural. A character being added into a story should be natural. It shouldn't be forced. I saw a picture of to be fair, I don't remember the Jessica Williams character in Fantastic Beasts. She didn't have much screen time, obviously, because I don't really remember her. I'll have to watch it again, but I saw a picture of her and J.K. Rowling, and she I mean, she's a very pretty actress. I think she'll be good as the professor. She's got purple hair, which, I'm tired of the purple hair trend, especially with fucking Vice Admiral Holdo, who sucks ass. But you know what? It's Wizarding World. These characters have their own identities. They have their own characteristics. You know, they have their own thing. Dumbledore's thing in the Harry Potter movies was weird robes and a hat, pajamas basically. And in these movies, he's wearing a nice suit. So that's their thing. So I just want her to be a cool character. I want her to have really, really, really good impact on the story. If not, whatever. And we don't even need her to have huge impact on the story. We just need her to add to the world. And I think that's awesome. A lot of the teachers at Hogwarts didn't really have a huge role in the story. They were in the story, but I mean, Professor Flitwick didn't really do a whole shit ton, but he was a good character and he was cool. So, and I hope Jessica Williams' character, Professor, what is it? It's Hicks, Lolly. I think that's like the nickname of her. I forgot her first name, but Lolly, Professor Lolly. I hope she's cool. I mean, I'm excited to see her in the movie, and and to be fair, I mean, to be honest, J.K. Rowling has a lot of stuff on her shoulders, a lot of weight trying to build these characters and these movies, and trying to get the movies out to the fans, because I think the main reason why it's taken so long for them to start making the new one is, I mean, again, it's the Johnny Depp thing. So, and I appreciate their patience with doing it, because I want the character to thrive in the movies. I want them to take their time with it. I don't want them to rush. So if we have to wait till November 2021, I'm fine with that. I just really, really, really don't want them to rush it like they do with Star Wars, like they do with Marvel. Because it's quality over quantity when it all comes down to it. For the prequels and this OT for Star Wars, we had to wait a while for each movie. Granted, I wasn't alive during the OT, but for the prequels, we had to wait a while. We had to wait a couple of years. And I was cool with that. Everyone was fine with that. It made it more. We were appreciative more of the movies. We respected the craft and the time and effort and thought and heart that it takes to put into these movies. And I think Harry Potter might be the only franchise where they really are taking their time with it. And they're still creating new stuff. And I appreciate the hell out of that. Because you can't find huge franchises like this anymore. When you have DC, who's every other effort, it's another shitty TV show that no one cares about. Their every other effort for a movie, it's a bomb. I mean, all the movies bomb, man. Like they're bad. Like they're really bad movies. And it's crazy because I never would have thought that Wonder Woman would be one of the best DC movies to come out in the past 10 years. But it is. Besides the Christopher Nolan Batman films, they're within the past decade, right? Yeah. So, Wonder Woman's one of the best DC movies to come out in the past 10 years. One of the top. I mean, Wonder Woman was killer. But all the other ones, they're a bunch of stinkers, man. Like, Shazam was good. Shazam was really good, and I liked certain aspects of Aquaman, but as a whole, I didn't really like the movie. I didn't really care for Aquaman. Aquaman should have been more serious, and I think Aquaman should have had more time, better writing for sure. I didn't like the writing in that movie. Shazam was great. Shazam was what it needed to be. Shazam was supposed to be a goofier, lighthearted, more jokey film with its while still having serious elements to it. And the balance was great, and I really appreciated it. And the actors were amazing in it. But then Aquaman should have been more serious, honestly. And I think they gotta. I like Jason Momoa. I just think they should have did a. They just there's just a lot with the. What was it? What's his name? What's his damn name? YouTuber. He did a review of Aquaman. Dishonored Wolf. I don't know if it's still. I don't know. Is it still Dishonored Wolf? His name. Anyways, but man, he did a great review of Aquaman. So that's. I mean, if you want a good review of Aquaman, and if you don't like Aquaman, go watch this. Hold on, I got to plug my computer in real quick. All right, much better. So, but anyways, bottom line is these franchises are taking their time making these movies, and they have good writing, and they care about the characters, and they want to craft these characters into the best thing possible. And I don't see that with Star Wars. I don't see it with Marvel. Take that back. I see it with Marvel up until now. And I think it's going to go downhill. I hope not. But I see that with Marvel sometimes. Spider-Man movies, no. Captain Marvel sucked ass. The more recent ones. I like Ragnarok, but I disagree with the route they're going with Thor, as far as like making him super fat and depressed and shit. He can be depressed and shit, but the fact that you made him just kind of a bumbling idiot, like, come on, man. He's a little bit smarter than that, but I think they made him too dumb. Like he can be kind of, but I mean, there's things, there's certain story elements that you should not do, and I don't agree with it. So whatever. I mean, apparently us, the Phantom Menace, were wrong all the time, and we're a bunch of, racist, sexist incels, and we just suck apparently. So whatever. But I mean, that's up to fans to decide. That's up to people who aren't affiliated with either the radical, weird SJW side or the Phantom Menace side to decide on who's more level-headed and who are the better cause. And I mean, I'm pretty sure just normal people, which I mean, we're pretty just normal dudes and dudettes in the Phantom Menace. So whatever. So anyways, that is my morning show. So short and sweet. Didn't have a guest on today. Last night we were streaming for a long time on the boardroom. So I think all of us are pretty damn tired. And I didn't want to do a show at first this morning, but slept in a little bit, got some food, felt a little bit better, and here we are. So that concludes today's morning show of Goober Brothers Entertainment, November 7th, 2019. And you guys all have a great day. Before I leave, please subscribe here on YouTube. And if you want updates on future videos or live streams, hit the little bell icon, and that can give you some updates later on if we go live, and you can listen in later on if you're not paying attention. Subscribe so you always have our videos queued into your YouTube account. Also, follow us on Instagram. You can keep updated with Instagram stories and different posts that I put on there regarding me and the channel itself and what's going on. So, and also haven't posted on there in a while, but go on Anchor. They also they post stuff on iTunes, so go on iTunes. I got stuff on there as well. Haven't put anything on there in a minute, but um, I'm sure I'll put something on there again, sooner or later. But for right now, I'm sticking to YouTube and just going to be doing live streams and little shows like this. So I enjoy these a lot more than just recording, just in general. So these are a lot of fun, and I like being able to talk to people and having guests on the show. But little morning show today, just a little solo show. I'm digging it. So you guys, everyone out there in the Phantom Menace, hail the Phantom Menace. Have a great rest of your morning. Have an even better day, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.